Okay, so you ready to go on a little adventure with me today?
Always up for an adventure.
All right, excellent. The Church of Tinkerbell podcast.
Faith, imagination, the power of belief.
Love and acceptance to make the world a better place.
What would happen if we all just tried to see the world through the eyes of a child again, even for a moment?
It's a beautiful thought, isn't it?
It is.
The Church of Tinkerbell.
The Church of Tinkerbell. All right, I'm intrigued. Today, we're tackling a subject that often gets met with, well, silence, maybe shame, or just sensationalism, pornography.
Yeah.
But what if this thing we're often so quick to judge, what if it actually holds some surprising keys, maybe to self-discovery, intimacy, even well-being?
And that's exactly what we want to explore today. Our mission really is to look at how pornography, when you approach it ethically, mindfully, could actually play a beneficial role.
Beneficial.
Yeah, in a healthy, maybe even an enhanced life. And this isn't just, guesswork. It's backed by some science and also the personal experiences that are highlighted in our source material today.
Which is right.
From the Church of Tinkerbell, specifically their piece called Porn with Purpose, How Ethical Mindful Use Can Enhance Your Life.
Right.
So our goal is really to give you, the listener, a more nuanced way to think about a topic that's, let's face it, usually buried under a lot of judgment.
Okay, let's dive right in then, because I think one of the biggest worries, the first thing people jump to is that, sexual fantasy or the porn that shows it, that it somehow leads directly to harmful actions.
Mm-hmm.
So does fantasy really lead to destiny? Is that how it works?
What's really interesting is that the studies, they pretty consistently show that fantasy is not destiny.
Okay.
Most people fantasize about things they would actually never, ever do in real life.
Right.
Whether someone acts on a fantasy, it seems to have far less to do with the fantasy itself and much more to do with other factors.
Like what?
Things like how intense their arousal gets, their level of impulsivity, maybe underlying personality traits, things like narcissism or a lack of empathy. Those play a much bigger role. Okay,
so when the source talks about certain brain states or it falling into the wrong hands, potentially amplifying problematic signals, what does that actually mean?
Yeah, that's a really crucial distinction.
What kind of predispositions are we talking about?
So, brain states.
Yeah.
They could refer to, say, neurological patterns or maybe psychological vulnerability someone already has.
Okay.
Like maybe they already struggle with compulsive behaviors or addiction or emotional dysregulation, that sort of thing. And wrong hands, well, that kind of means when individuals maybe lack healthy coping mechanisms or they don't have a strong ethical framework to filter things through.
Got it.
So in those cases, it's not that the porn itself is inherently the problem, but it can, for example, maybe reinforce existing destructive patterns.
Right.
Or it might become an escape that stops someone from actually dealing with the underlying issues.
So the context and the content too, they really matter. Does that mean the intent behind watching it is just as important as what's actually on the screen?
Absolutely. Intent is huge.
How do you even start to figure out your own intent?
Well, the source uses this really great food analogy.
Okay.
Think of it like this. Having a donut now and then, totally fine. Probably won't hurt you.
Right. Most of us do that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But if you find yourself, say, binging on those 99-cent gas station fritters, specifically to numb out or avoid your emotions, well, then that points to a different issue, doesn't it? Something else that needs addressing. It really comes down to the why and how you're consuming it. Are you engaging with it mindfully? Or is it becoming this sort of habitual, maybe even dissociative coping mechanism? The content itself is just one piece. Our relationship to it is just as critical, maybe even more so.
Yeah. Okay, this is where it gets really interesting for me. The source talks about ways porn can actually be genuinely helpful, which is, maybe unexpected.
It is, yeah. And it highlights 5 key areas.
Okay, what's the first?
First up, exploring identity. Porn can actually be an amazing mirror for people who are trying to figure out who they are.
A mirror? How so?
Well, think about it, especially maybe for queer individuals or people exploring kink or really anyone who's felt ashamed about their desires. Seeing themselves or their desires represented respectfully, even in these fictional contexts, it can be incredibly validating, maybe even healing.
Wow.
Yeah, the source actually shares a little anecdote about a friend who felt kind of broken until they found some really respectful, well-made BDSM content that just clicked. And they realized, oh, I'm not broken, I'm just kinky.
That's huge. helping someone bridge that gap to self-acceptance just by seeing something reflected back at them, that's powerful.
It really is.
So, okay, besides being a mirror for identity, where else does the source say ethical porn can actually help our well-being?
The second area is reducing stress and anxiety.
Okay, the unwinding aspect.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And there's absolutely no shame in that. From a purely scientific standpoint, orgasms trigger this release of neurochemicals.
Feel-good chemical.
Yeah, like oxytocin, that's the bonding hormone, and dopamine, pleasure and reward. These have a real impact on mood, relaxation. They can genuinely help us sleep, emotional regulation, just by calming the nervous system down.
Right.
So if you use it intentionally, it can absolutely be part of a personal relaxation ritual.
Yeah.
Just like, having tea or meditating or,
All right.
as the source playfully puts it, yelling into a pillow.
Okay, I think we can all relate to needing that sometimes. So it's about finding what works for you and not judging yourself for it.
Precisely.
And it can even help relationships. That seems counterintuitive to some people.
It can, yeah. That's the third point. Enhancing relationships.
How does that work?
Well, for some couples, watching porn together can be a shared experience. It can be a pretty low-stakes way to explore new desires, maybe, or just bond over shared pleasure.
Okay.
For others, maybe it doesn't involve watching together, but it might spark really crucial conversations.
Ah, like opening up topics.
Exactly. Conversations they maybe didn't even realize they needed to have about boundaries or fantasies or what intimacy really means for them as a couple.
Right.
So if both partners are on board and they communicate openly about it, it can definitely add to the intimacy rather than replacing it.
That makes a lot of sense. Just opening up that dialogue in a safe way seems valuable. What about therapeutic uses? You mentioned science earlier.
Yeah, that's the fourth area, therapeutic and educational use.
How is porn used therapeutically?
Well, sometimes therapists might actually use specific erotic material to help clients reconnect with pleasure.
Really?
Yeah, particularly maybe after experiencing trauma. It's a way to gently guide them back towards reclaiming their bodies and their desires on their own terms. And alongside that, there's this growing idea of porn literacy.
Porn literacy.
Like media literacy.
Exactly like media literacy. It's about developing that critical lens,
Yeah.
to analyze the narratives you're seeing, the power dynamics, the ethics behind how it was made, making sure it aligns with real-world ethics like consent, rather than just passively absorbing whatever's put in front of you.
So being an informed, active consumer, not just passive.
Yeah,
Okay. And the last point, an outlet for taboos.
precisely. Look, some fantasies, for a whole host of reasons, absolutely should not be acted out in real life. Definitely.
But that doesn't mean they need to be shoved down into some shame-filled corner of your mind.
Right.
For people who clearly understand that critical difference between a thought and an action, porn can actually serve as a pretty safe and healthy outlet for those taboo thoughts.
Interesting framing.
The source puts it beautifully, I think. It's like a dream. Not real, but sometimes revealing. It can even potentially prevent harmful real-world behaviors by containing those impulses within a sort of consensual imagined space.
Okay, wow. So lots of potential positives there, but let's be real, like you said earlier, it's not all puppies and healthy boundaries.
Definitely not.
Where can porn go sideways? What are the risky bits?
Yeah, that's critical to cover for balance.
Yeah.
The source points out a few key risks. First, there's the risk of escalation.
Escalation.
Meaning someone might feel they need to seek out more and more extreme content just to get the same level of arousal.
Oh.
And over time, that can actually dull your natural pleasure responses, create this constant need for something newer, harder, more shocking.
Right. Desensitization.
Kind of, yeah. Second big one, shame cycles. This is a really nasty loop.
How does that work?
You watch porn, then you feel bad about it, guilty, ashamed, whatever. And then to cope with those bad feelings, you watch more porn.
Oh, wow. That sounds like a trap.
It's a really vicious cycle. The very thing you might be using for relief ends up causing more distress in the long run.
Okay. And what about the content itself? What are the risks there?
Well, third, there are the unrealistic scripts. This is huge.
The plumber and the thong scenario.
Exactly. You have to remember, most porn is highly scripted. It's often designed for maximum visual impact or shock value, not realism.
Right.
So if you start expecting real relationships or actual sexual encounters to look like what you see in porn, you're likely setting yourself up for some serious disappointment.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And finally, maybe the most important one, the pervasive issue of objectification and aggression, especially in a lot of mainstream stuff. Consent can be murky. or sometimes just completely absent.
That's a huge problem.
It is. And it's a problem because it can subtly, or not so subtly, shape our perceptions of what's normal or acceptable in real interactions. Needs a lot of attention.
Absolutely. So, okay, we've covered benefits, we've covered risks. What does this all mean for you, the listener, right now? If you want to navigate this whole area in a way that feels healthy, intentional, what do you do?
Right. Well, the source gives a really helpful checklist, actually. Kind of like questions to ask yourself to stay on that intentional path.
Okay, like what?
Like, am I watching this because I genuinely want to? Or am I maybe using it to avoid something painful or difficult?
Good question.
Does the content I'm watching align with my values? Especially around things like consent and respect.
Crucial.
Am I beating myself up or shaming myself for enjoying it? How do I feel after watching? Satisfied or regretful, empty, maybe anxious?
Checking in with the emotional residue.
Exactly. And finally, am I open to checking in, either with myself, honestly, or maybe with a partner, if that's relevant, about my usage?
Okay.
And beyond that checklist, just some general reflective questions you could ask are things like, what am I actually getting from this experience? How do I feel before versus after? Is it helping me connect more deeply with myself, or is it helping me disconnect from reality?
Those are really good prompts for self-reflection. And you mentioned content earlier. It seems clear that not all porn is the same.
Not at all.
Listeners can actually choose platforms that maybe align better with their values, right? Things like consent, fair pay for performers, representation.
Absolutely. Making that choice is a really important part of ethical consumption.
So where can people look?
Yeah, the source highlights several platforms and formats that are trying to do things differently, more ethically.
Yeah.
For video, for instance, there's Erica Lust. She's known for indie feminist porn, focuses on real stories, real people, big emphasis on consent and fair labor practices. There's Belesa, which is generally woman-focused, aims for inclusivity, often has free content too. They're trying to reshape the industry from that perspective. You've got Four Chambers, which is often more artistic, queer-friendly, pushes boundaries in a more thoughtful, abstract way sometimes.
Interesting.
Then you have the creator-direct platforms like ManyVids or OnlyFans.
Right, those are huge now.
They are. And the potential there is you could directly support independent creators who you feel are making content ethically. You often get more connection with the creator too.
Okay. Any others?
And Make Love Not Porn. Their whole thing is about real people having real sex. Big focus on authenticity, trying to be educational in a way.
Gotcha. And what if someone prefers audio, not video?
Good question. If audio is more your thing, the source suggests a couple. Dipsea is one.
Dipsea, okay.
They do immersive erotic audio stories.
Yeah.
Lots of variety in terms of orientation, identity. Really focuses on pleasure and connection through sound. And then there's Fairly. They offer more science-based audio guides. They kind of blend mindfulness practices with intimacy building, often used for sexual wellness, self-exploration. It's a different kind of sensory approach.
Wow. Okay. Lots of options out there if you look for them.
Definitely.
This has been, honestly, a fascinating and I think really important deep dive. It feels like the core message, boiling it down, is using porn doesn't make you broken.
No.
It makes you human.
Exactly. That's it. What truly matters, the thing to focus on, is how you use it, why you use it, and what kind of content you choose to engage with.
Right.
And crucially, whether all of that actually aligns with your personal values and contributes positively to your overall well-being.
Yeah.
Because, as the source powerfully reminds us at the end, pleasure isn't the enemy, shame is. Thanks for going on this little adventure with me today.
Anytime.
And listener, keep sprinkling that fairy dust, all right? We'll see you next time.